The last two body systems that we're going to look at will be the nervous system and the immune system. I think you're going to find that these are two very important body systems as well. The nervous system is one of the most important, and in my opinion it is the most important body system because it is responsible for controlling everything that goes on in your body. The three major functions that we find with the nervous system is that it receives information about the environment, so it's interpreting what's going on around it. It directs the response to that information, so if it feels it needs to react in some way, it will react, and it gives the information to react. And it also helps to maintain homeostasis, so it's going to send messages throughout the body, throughout the brain, to the muscles, to every part of your body. There are three major organs involved, or actually two major organs and then a major cell that's involved. You have the brain, the spinal cord, and the neurons. The neurons are the cells. They look so strange. They look like a crazy person. And they have a very unique structure to them. And that's they are structured in such a way that electrical currents travel through them, and that's what the messages are, electrical currents, as it travels through it. The brain, you kind of know the brain. The brain is responsible for processing all the information and sending out the directions. The spinal cord is what connects the brain to the rest of the body. So it's a major organ that's and it's made up of a lot of your neurons. A cord there that's there, and that spinal cord is protected through the vertebrae in the back, the bones in the back, so the spinal cord travels down through those vertebrae bones, and that gives that a protection. Because if you sever that spinal cord, you will no longer be able to send messages to anything that would be below that level, and we'll talk more about that in class. There are two major parts of the nervous system. You have the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system, or the CNS, is where the actual control center of the body is, and the members of the central nervous system is the brain and the spinal cord, since everything else is going to come off of that. So the central part of your body is the central nervous system. The peripheral nervous system is any nerves that branch off of the brain and the spinal cord. So anything that branches off, so like when you have peripheral vision, that's your side vision. That's the same thing for your peripheral nervous system, the PNS. That's going to be the network of nerves that branch off of that central nervous system. And that's what's going to actually connect the central nervous system to the rest of the body. So they're the connectors. The last body system we're going to talk about is the immune system, and I think that you all probably have more information about the immune system than any other one, but you know that the job of the immune system is to eliminate the pathogens or the viruses or bacteria that can make you sick and can destroy the cells. So the immune system is really your army, your protector for your body. It really doesn't have an organ that is involved in this system. It's only the white blood cells. And we're going to talk specifically about the lymphocytes. And so you can see in the picture, the big white, weird looking thing is actually a lymphocyte. And then that yellow, spherical rod-like thing is a bacteria that lymphocyte is eating. Isn't that cool? Your body has three lines of defenses that it uses to fight off any kind of pathogen that your body might encounter. The first line of defense is just actual barriers to keep the pathogens out of the body so that there's no war that actually has to take place. The barriers are the skin, your mucus, and acids that you find. So your skin is one of those that it's going to prevent your pathogens that land on it from entering it. So anytime you have a cut, you have any kind of break in the skin, you really need to clean that out and put medication on it and put a bandage on it so that you're keeping the bacteria out. Otherwise, that's just a gateway for the pathogens to get in. When we inhale and exhale, pathogens are in the air all the time, so we're encountering them all the time. The mucus in the nose and down the esophagus a lot of times will capture. It'll cause that pathogen to stick in them so that it prevents it from traveling down any further. And then a lot of times we will swallow the mucus in our throat. We might swallow the mucus from our nose, and then that encounters the acid then in our stomach or in our mouth. So those are ways that keeps the pathogens out of our body. If a pathogen actually enters our body, then we've got the next second line of defense, the inflammatory response, and this is where your body creates a swelling in the area that the pathogen is attacked. It might cause your body temperature to increase, so you have a temperature, and all of that is to create an environment that's not conducive to the pathogen to live in, and so it would kill it. The third line of defense is when your immune system actually uses the lymphocytes. If we were going to hang here, we would really talk about the different types of lymphocytes that are out there. But because we're not going to stay long on this, and I'm not going to require you to know all the specifics, I just want to talk about it just briefly. You have some lymphocytes that are traveling around in your circulatory system that are just like scouts. So if we can think of it all as like a war plan, and you're an army and you're sending scouts out to see where the bad guys are, that's what those lymphocytes are. Once they find out where the bad guys are, they send a chemical message to the other lymphocytes, who are the actual warriors that would come and fight off the pathogens. So there's actually a line of defense where like your army comes in and actually wages war against the pathogen. So when you're really, really sick, that's your pathogens and lymphocytes battling it out. And hopefully, when you're not feeling well, the pathogens are winning, but once you start feeling better, then the lymphocytes have started winning again. So hopefully we want them to win all the time. The last thing I want to talk about are the two different forms of immunity that we have. We have active immunity and passive immunity. Active immunity is when your body actually fights off the pathogen, and it learns the game plan, it learns the war strategy, the attack strategy that works best on that lymphocyte. This can happen when you get sick, or if you get a vaccine. The vaccine is nothing more than weakened or dead viruses that is injected into your body, and your body looks at it as that pathogen and goes to attack it. And so sometimes you might get a little sick from a vaccine. At other times it just you might have some swelling that happens there. But that's your body's way of developing a game plan. So anytime you encounter that pathogen again, it'll pull out that game plan, that strategy, and then use that same plan of attack so you don't get sick the next time, or maybe you're not sick as long. The last type of immunity, the passive immunity, is when your body needs extra help. So it might need extra help from antibiotics that the doctor prescribes to help you feel better. I hope that you can now see that the immune system and the nervous system are two really very important body systems to help us maintain homeostasis and be able to function without being sick.